Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about the challenges of ethical variance as epistemic disorder in healthcare and medical research. Divergent epistemologies in the ethics of medical research have added to notions of cultural distinctiveness. As a result, intercultural or international research is faced with questions of validity in the current milieu of a globalized world. The ethical challenges faced by global healthcare and medical researchers pertain to notions of informed consent, personal autonomy, and personal individuality or individual personality. Whereas these concepts may be reliable, generalizability of such local regimens are not necessarily valid in a global setting where cultures, laws, and customs converge. The doctrine of informed consent encapsulates personal autonomy, individuality, and respect as distinct from members of the family and society at large. Consent must be based on full disclosure of risk, benefits, and alternative procedures that may be available to an individual. One cannot consent without being informed. And the absence of consent or the presence of ill-informed consent are either ethical variants of epistemic proportions or simply unethical in a global sense. Consent validates generalizability. The individual is an autonomous agent whose consent is vital in research and therapy. Personal autonomy ought to be the normative ethical plank for all peoples everywhere. While culture and beliefs may be communal, an individual's desire, pain, pleasure, and comfort are not communal. An example of the distinctive attributes of individual autonomy is exemplified in the difference in choices of colors, for example, taste, reaction to medication, lifespan, and other attributes. Consent is vital in that it is intertwined with personal autonomy. Distinctive attributes of individuals cannot be replaced or transplanted into the family. This is because individuals are unitarily affected by disease. Organ donation and transplantation react to individuals differently. Individual epistemological differences is reflected in pharmacogenetics and pharmacogenomics. These are factors affecting drug absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. Individualism is reflected in artificial intelligence. The individual is therefore legitimately and therapeutically the authoritative source of consent. Research suggests that COVID-19 affects different individuals differently. Some individuals experience no symptoms at all. Others experience mild to severe symptoms, while others die from the disease. The discriminate impact of COVID-19 pandemic on distinctive individuals foregrounds the significance of personal individuality. COVID-19 pandemic has foregrounded three important elements of personhood that are of global consequence. A, that culture is neutral or insignificant in the treatment of illness. The fear of angering ancestors, witchcrafts, the intervention of oracles, magic, divination, and propitiation do nothing about disease. B, reductionism, subsumed under the heading of quantitative methodology, contends that both Eastern and Western scientists use identical language of mathematics and statistics in their research analysis. C, each patient has a unique experience and reaction to disease differently. Nevertheless, the management of illness is a universal prerogative, tuned with the fact that all humans are universally the same. These prevailing bifurcated polarities of Confucian and Cartesian epistemologies constitute underlying conditions of epistemic disorder in a globalized research setting. In the Eastern ethical tradition, personal individuality is dominated by social status, roles, and the family. The doctrine of individual autonomy is supplanted by benevolent paternalism. Conservative cultures constitute one component of the bifurcated ethical polarities. These cultures embrace the technological changes facilitating social control and the financial advantages of modernization. At the same time, the values underlying social hierarchy as characterized by age, gender, power distance, etc. are, for the most part, conserved. Power distance is the degree to which deference is given to powerful individuals, and the degree or extent to which the powerless endure the will or the whim of the powerful. The dynamic of power distance in medical research underlies ethical and epistemic disorder. It also threatens validity in a global setting, where the local research is informed by pervasive social inequalities. The effect can be and do extend to a global setting. In high power distance societies where silence typically speaks louder than words, data collection and analysis often includes extra layers of complication. Syntactic and lexical distinctions between male and female speech exemplify miscommunication in a global setting, although it might be valid in local situations. Humanity is the same everywhere you live. Humanity is the same everywhere you travel. Humanity is the same everywhere humans reside. So transplant tourism is a clear example of the unity of humanity. All humans are born, all humans undergo strife or suffer from disease, and all humans die. Illness affects all humans independent of culture or language. Technology has demonstrated that illness is not caused by misfortune or the anger of ancestors. While science and technology might be impacted by culture, customs, and politics, the extension of human lifespan, coupled with the expansion of health and wellness, exemplify the role of research in the world. So therefore, possible panacea for the ethical variants of epistemic disorder would include generalizability and replicability of research results. It must be said that while local research ethics can be reliable in cultural terms, such local reliability does not necessarily amount to validity in global terms. Benevolent paternalism is not necessarily an epistemic ethical disorder unless it is substituted for the doctrines of autonomy, individual respect, and informed consent. The cultural customs of power distance nullifies the principles of individual autonomy and respect. It ought to be less employed in a global research regimen. So in conclusion, I would like to impress upon your mind that successful research of global consequence would accomplish epistemic transcendence from local polarity to global neutrality. Universal meaning and definition of personhood ought to be agreed and applied as we conduct research that benefits all of humanity. Thank you.